Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about Batman The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight as well, and Christopher Nolan and the trilogy. And the topic of this video is going to be, will The Dark Knight Rises be better than The Dark Knight? And if not, will it be better than Batman Begins? And pretty much the reason for me doing this video is because, well, the movie's coming out pretty soon. We've got a few weeks, let's see, it'll be about a month actually, so a good solid 4 weeks and a couple days until the movie's coming out. I have booked it off work. Yes, very excited. Can't wait to see it. Absolutely stoked. If a person was to come up and ask me, Trev, what's your favorite movie of all time? Your favorite? Most people would be like, they'd have to sit there and think about it. But for me, I don't even have to think about it. Without a shadow of a doubt, right away, I know it's Batman the Dark Knight. By far. No question about it. You know, I've seen the movie probably more than any other movie ever released. I actually saw The Dark Knight in theaters 7 times. I dragged Jess with me every time. And she actually likes it too. She knows all the lines from the movie. So it's not like when she drags me to Twilight and I'm like, oh, God, I don't want to see this. You know, she actually likes it. And I think most people who watch it, probably a good solid 95% or maybe more, leave thinking, you know, or afterwards, after they're finished, like thinking, wow, that's amazing. There's only a few people I've met that were like, I didn't think it was that good. What was so great about it? You know, in terms of a comic book movie, The Dark Knight exemplifies what we want to see as comic book fans, you know, in a movie. What we want to experience, you know, the depthness of the characters psychologically, you know, in terms of action. You've got scenes where Batman in the Dark Knight is, you know, literally comes down and he's got his wings spread and he literally flies around like this around the building and then smashes through the glass, does a tuck and roll, and then punches one guy in the face, punches another one, then starts fighting with all these these Joker thugs. That's awesome. You know, that's awesome. You know, that kind of stuff. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you wouldn't even think that they would be able to do, like, at all. You know, we get to see the scene where the truck, the semi gets flips over like that and comes down. I mean, there are so many things about The Dark Knight that I can just watch over and over and over again. I think it's the single best comic book movie ever made, and you know, I absolutely love it. So, in terms of this question, can it be better? Well, at first, when I heard this and people were talking about it, I was like, "There's no way it's going to be as good as The Dark Knight." The Dark Knight Rises, it's not possible. It can't do it because the bar is just too high. I can't, you know, at first I couldn't see anything passing it, but now that we've seen a lot of the scenes coming out for it, and we're getting to hear a lot of what the storyline is based on, which is Nightfall, Batman comic book story arc from the 90s, which is one of the best Batman stories ever, in my opinion anyway. And it pretty much is the introduction of the character of Bane, getting a taste of what Bane's all about, and essentially is a really dark time in the characters in Batman's story. I mean, it's really one of the only times I can remember where a villain, you know, literally beat Batman to a pulp and, you know, breaks Batman's back. And if you haven't read Nightfall, I think you should really read it because, you know, before watching this movie, because it'll give you an appreciation for, you know, what I'm saying. Because if you haven't read it, it's kind of like you won't really get what I'm saying. But anyway, Bane as a character, see, a lot of people, they look at Bane and they think of Bane in the comic books and they just think he's just a brute. He's just this big brute. And even Schumacher, when he did Batman, was it Batman and Robin, even he treated Bane like he was a big, you know, just mindless brute. And the funny thing about it is that that's actually completely incorrect. He's actually one of the most intelligent villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery. He, you know, I can't say he's the most intelligent because you got, you know, characters in there like Dr. Hugo Strange, and you know, he's a doctor, and all these, like, there's so many, you know, intelligent characters in the Batman universe. But Bane, in terms of practical intelligence and, you know, gifts, has to be up there near the top. I mean, he was able to, in Nightfall, deduce who Bruce Wayne is just from watching his gait. And When I say gait, I mean G-A-I-T. That means the way a person walks. And everyone has a unique gait. No, unless you're a twin. Yeah, unless you're a twin, your gait won't be exactly the same as somebody else. Not exactly, you know. It'll always, you know, if you're naturally doing it, if you're just naturally walking, everyone has a unique gait. And just based on that and his size and his frame, Bane is able to deduce that Bruce Wayne is Batman. In this movie, Dark Knight Rises, it seems that, you know, that's probably going to come about as well. That's probably going to be the same type situation where he finds out who, you know, Bruce Wayne is, really, who Batman is, really. And he's going to take the attack to him, it sounds like to me. So it looks like it's going to be a lot like Nightfall. And the thing about Bane, like a lot of people say, well, you can't beat the Joker. You can't, you know, the Joker's the best villain, you know, period. And I'd agree. Actually, the Joker is the best villain. However, Bane is more dangerous than the Joker, okay? Because the Joker, you know, is kind of like he says, a mad dog. You know, he's doing it sort of for his enjoyment. But Bane is doing it like what he's doing, attacking Batman, doing all these things. He's doing it as a challenge, or at least he was in Nightfall. Sort of that, you know, he must conquer these types of things. Like whatever he's afraid of, he must conquer that. You know, he must defeat. He sort of becomes compelled to defeat Batman, to take him down and just, you know, break him as a person. And, you know, I think that that is extremely, extremely interesting. Also, to see that in The Dark Knight, if you think about it, the Joker almost beats Batman, but it's because Batman turns off, well, it was part of their plan, but he turns off instead of, in their little game of chicken, instead of actually hitting the Joker. But in terms of physical confrontation, you know, Batman is going to be able to take the Joker. That's the thing about that. But Batman can't take Bane in a fight, or at least probably not. One-on-one, you know, usually, well, okay. In Nightfall, at least, he couldn't because Bane broke him down. But one-on-one in a fight, I think that it'd probably be a stalemate. It'd probably be a draw or Bane would win because Bruce Wayne or Batman won't do what he needs to do in order to beat Bane, which is he won't kill. He won't, you know, use weapons to a certain degree. You know, he's not going to use, you know, a knife or something or a gun or shoot him. You know what I mean? He's just not going to do that kind of stuff because he's Batman. He's not allowed to do that kind of stuff. And as a result of that, he's restricted in his fighting, whereas Bane is not. Bane will use anything, will use dirty tactics, you know, anything he can think of. And as a result of that, usually Bane is actually, in Nightfall at least, more than a match for Batman and actually beats him down and could kill him if he wants to, but doesn't. The movie looks like it's going to follow that pretty much to the T, but have its own spin on it. And I'm also very excited to see how they wrap up the series of, you know, Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. So I think that when we start to see everything come out and all of that, you know, there is a chance that it could be better than The Dark Knight. It could be. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I think the key of it is that when it comes to the Joker, the physicality is not there. You know, the Joker, he plays mental games and he does things and he you know, he strategizes and he does all these different crazy things. But when it comes to physical confrontation, you know, Batman's going to beat the Joker. But physically, Batman, you know, probably can't beat Bane a good portion of the time. So I think that, you know, it should be fun to get to see a lot of different action scenes, fighting sequences between the two, because if you think about it, you know, there's really hardly any fight scenes between Batman and the Joker. I mean, the interrogation room, Batman just beats the snot out of the Joker, and Joker laughs while he's doing it. You know, at the end of the movie, on the not a rooftop, but construction building or whatever that was, building, you know, they have their fight, and Joker's got the dogs and a crowbar, so it's fairly even, and Batman ends up winning, which is great. But, you know, I think it'll be really cool to see, you know, Batman physically one-on-one go up against somebody and lose, and what that means, and how that makes him feel as a character. And just, you know, I think that it, you know, The Dark Knight Rises could actually be better than The Dark Knight. I think either way, The Dark Knight Rises will probably be better than Batman Begins, which is my second favorite comic book movie. I don't know if it's my second favorite movie overall, but it's definitely, you know, because it's an introduction movie, it's a little bit slower. But this being an ending movie, you know, concluding everything, there'll probably be some character deaths. You know, we may see the death of Alfred or somebody like that. Like, how would that, you know, like, that would be something crazy to see. Can you imagine seeing the death, like, Bane kill Alfred in front of Bruce or something? Like, stuff like that would be, like, crazy to see, because in the other two, you know, the Joker, as good as he was and as close as he got to basically taking over the city, kind of, and, you know, beating Batman, he never got that close to home. So, you know, I'm really excited for The Dark Knight Rises. I want to hear what you guys have to say, what you think. Do you think that it'll be as good as The Dark Knight? I'm sure most people probably say no, it won't be, but, you know, I think we got to wait and see, and I think there's a possibility. There's a possibility. But again, Heath Ledger, his performance was crazy. You know, I don't know if Tom Hardy's going to be able to top that, but, you know, I mean, Tom Hardy doesn't really have to act as much because he's got the face mask on the whole time. You can't really even see, you know, the emotions in his face hardly at all anyway. You know, it's all going to be like his eyes and, you know, the upper part. So, you know, I mean, I guess acting for him won't really be as big of a deal as it was for the Joker. Whereas with the Joker, you know, Heath Ledger really sold it because he had to play that psychopath that just, you know, was murdering people and having fun and laughing and all that stuff. That was a very animated role. But for someone like Bane, where he's wearing a costume, you can't really even see his mouth or most of his face, you know. I don't know if the acting will really be that big of a deal. I think the biggest thing is we better hope we can understand him, because, I mean, that's something people are complaining about a lot, is whether or not they can understand him. But either way, point of this video, what I'm saying is I think it could be, and I can't wait for the movie, and I think it actually might be better than The Dark Knight. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see, of course. You know, and that's not all. It's not all just about Bane. Catwoman's thrown in there too, so we'll see what happens with that. I hope she dies. I don't know. I don't like Anne Hathaway much, so well, we'll see. Apparently, you know, they said that she read the lines for it, and she did the best in the interview or whatever. So, you know, I mean, if she's a great actress, you're gonna give her the role. You know, she does better than everybody else you have in terms of a choice. You're gonna give her the role. So I guess I should give her a chance. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about The Dark Knight Rises. Do you think it'll be better than The Dark Knight? Do you think it'll be worse? And do you think it'll be better or worse than Batman Begins? That's it for this video, guys. See you for the next one later. Peace.